Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial's set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. And we broadcast 2 hours, Monday through Friday, from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, right here from the farm. And if you'd like to call us today, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. I'm Vincent Finelli. Mike Parsons is with us. Mike's on the road, and he pulled over to do this broadcast with us. He's been driving all night, and he's calling in to do the broadcast as on the schedule. Welcome, Mike Parsons.
Greetings, Vincent. It's good to hear your voice.
It's great to be with you, Mike. So, Mike, you have some information for us about a court that may very well be the court that we need to use to settle some of our differences when we can't use the other team's court, right? The court that has the judge and the prosecutor and the DA all on one side, and even our alleged attorney would be on the same side as the judge and the prosecutor and the DA.
Right. As most people are aware of, the fact is that the United States court system is rigged. It is a private corporation function that has nothing to do with justice or the Constitution. It has to do with commerce, and they're utilizing various forms that they create on the fly, admiralty court and so forth. And literally, you won't know what they're doing until after the fact. And it's kind of like this. Could you compete in a sports game? Let's say you don't know how to play the game of lacrosse, but you're asked to play, and you get out there and you play, and you throw many of the balls into the goal, and you think you won, but only after the game do they reveal to you then what the rules of the game are, and then determine who won the game. Well, no, you wouldn't play that game. You wouldn't do that because it's not fair, but that's effectively how the courts are operated within the confines of the United States corrupt system. And only after you've played the game, then do you find out how the rules apply, because then it's up to this admiralty judge to declare to the jury what rules apply and what rules don't. So that's a rigged game. Recently, I was able to find a court that is an actual real court with a real sovereign nation. And as a matter of fact, it's the only sovereign nation within North America. It is the Chilhoten Nation, which is, from what I've been able to discover, is the only Native American, indigenous, aboriginal people who have never signed a treaty with any of these corporations. And just like in the United States, Canada is a corporation. And as such, they engage in commerce. And all these treaties go back to commerce. And when people take the time to do the research, they find out that virtually every one of these nations have been marginalized, and their systems are being controlled also. Well, in finding out about this court, I found out that they are actually a court that can entertain cases that have been finalized in this country because they're recognized internationally. They actually have in their Constitution no statute of limitations. Let me repeat that. They have no statute of limitations. Therefore, if you've been wronged, if you've been falsely convicted, if you've had a case where you wanted to sue someone for damages, but yet you were deprived of access to the court and your time ran out, the clock ran on you, and so you were sidelined. You were told, nope, you waited too long, so you get no justice in this court. Well, here's an answer. There's only one problem, though. This corrupt system is coming after that court and all the people within it, and that's why I'm calling today to appeal to the audience to do this research, because right now this is a functioning court that can assist a lot of people, but they're going to need some help because they don't have any government funding. They operate on their own, independent of all governments, and they literally, like you operate out of your home to do your own radio show from your own studio, they effectively have on their tribal land, on their nation land, they have their own court created, and it's not what you would think like the Gothic halls or, the big columns and all the apparatus and facade that you find in these sham courts that we're dealing with. It's very simple, but it has teeth. And this is where I want to take us today, is to bring you up to speed on what's going on and appeal to you to potentially help if you can. Because not only will you be helping them, you will be helping every one of those listeners that could utilize this court to their advantage. There is a website that they have. It's called the universalsupremecourt.org. That's universalsupremecourt.org. And I tend to try to have a visual image when I, hearing something that I don't have time to write down. So I think of a universal joint on a car. I'm a guy and I work on cars. So when I first heard this and I was, traveling at the time and I wasn't able to write it down, I just remembered universal joint, Supreme Court. Just take the word joint out of it. It's a universalsupremecourt.org. And you will find the information about the Chilhoten Nation. You'll find out about the rulings that they've done and the things that they're able to do. And that will give you some hope and some potential relief in your case. However, right now, they're having a little bit of a problem because the Canadian government, even though they declared this Chilhoten Nation a sovereign nation back in 2014, and then the Parliament actually wrote a proclamation acknowledging their sovereignty, they're starting to come after their people such as the Supreme Court Justice, who I've been in conversation with over the last several weeks, as well as the fact that they've arrested the Chilhoten Nation's Attorney General and locked him up in jail, all for going to the courts of the British Columbia state court system and demanding that the children that have been kidnapped from the Chilhoten Nation be returned. And after the break, I want to get into that because what's going on in this country is going on there. And effectively, they're trafficking in children. They're literally stealing children to the point that they have the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and other organizations there standing at the foot of the bed as a Chilhoten Nation woman is giving birth. They take the child from birth and place it in foster care so that this operation, which is a corporation, it's not even government. It's called the Ministry of Family Services. Let me see if I can find it here. It's an actual corporation, and they profit $250,000 per child per year. That's $250,000 per child per year. And so therefore, they're trying to get as many children as they can from the people of Canada and primarily the indigenous native people, and they're lining their pockets with blood money. And this is what the Chilhoten Nation is trying to work on stopping. They've already written orders. They've made judgments in this matter and submitted them to the lower court since the Chilhoten Nation is the host country. They were there before the Canadian government. The Canadian government actually recognized that the Canadian government corporation is, in fact, the guest nation. So they are subject to the rulings of the Chilhoten Nation. And that's powerful. Now, if they would only recognize that, then it would really be powerful. And that's what we're working on right now, is to raise awareness, bring this to the light of day so that people can not only see truth in government, but then have a recourse for their own case so that they can go back and have their case corrected and those wrongs that were done to them corrected as well. Because right now, in this country, it's a rigged game. Are you there,
Mike,
Vincent?
yes, I am. Mike, in your case, would this provide you with a remedy for all the wrongs that have been committed against you by the courts in Tennessee?
Yes, most definitely. This would provide me a venue by which I could appeal and submit to them all the evidence in my case for their review, and they can look at not only the facts of the case, but what was the effective law at the time, as well as what is the common law for this country, and they can rule on that. And certainly, they're unbiased, and they don't have, an interest one way or the other. They're all about the truth. But the fact is that they are effectively an international court of final disposition, and they can rule on it, and their rulings are binding. Now, getting this United States government to do the right thing is something else. I mean, we were raised to think that we're the good guys. We're the type that go after the oppressors of the underdogs. We help the little guy who's being beat up by the bully on the block. Well, that's not the case anymore. United States government corporation is now the bully on the block. They're not only attacking all the innocent people around the world to steal their resources, they're taking our resources right out from underneath our noses. They've effectively declared war on we the people, but they're not a government. They're a corporation, and so corporations technically can't declare war, but effectively they have. And so that's a hard thing for people to wrap their mind around, and to get into the arena and to fight in some capacity to take back our freedoms and our liberty, our children, and our resources from this corporation can only be done if people engage the system. And of course, in the United States, every state's constitution has a variation of what the Tennessee Constitution has. And I'll read that and we'll get back.
Yeah. Mike Parsons with us. Mike's on the road, and he's been traveling throughout the night, and he's pulled over so that he could be with us this morning and teach us about the Universal Supreme Court of the Chilhote. I'm Vincent Finelli. This is USA Prepares. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use door armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, door armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your door armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half-off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
owe $10,000 or more to the IRS.
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
As the cold and flu season approaches, Silver Lungs is ready to help you and your family through the toughest of the year by supporting your immune system and overall health. From our best-selling colloidal silver generating system to our entire line of silver-based skin gels, nasal sprays, soaps, and silver solutions. Silver solutions remain one of nature's most powerful and least expensive antibacterial agents. Now you can produce your own for pennies a day in the comfort of your home using the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. Learn more today at www.silverlungs.com.
Class, Mike Parsons is with us. And Mike, I have a call here from the Chief Justice of the Universal Supreme Court. Welcome.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air with Mike Parsons and me, Vin Finelli. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Yes, this is the Universal Supreme Court Chief Justice calling in. And good morning to you, Vincent, and good morning to you, Michael. It's my pleasure to be able to speak with you this morning. I have been on the road as well, but basically running from illegal apprehension, as it were. But currently, I am happy to announce that the charges, the warrant for my arrest have been dropped, and that's something Michael does not know yet, probably. But basically, I'm happy to speak with you this morning, and I thank Michael so much for that wonderful introduction to our court and to our nation. It was very succinct and very well put. I do appreciate what he said this morning so far, and I thank him for that. And just to let your callers know, I have been newly appointed by the Chilcotin Nation here in the Chilcotin in the heart of British Columbia, Canada. And we have started a Supreme Court called the Universal Supreme Court of the Chilcotin. So the shortened version of that name is just Universal Supreme Court, or the USCT in abbreviation. And the reason why we have, or the Chilcotin people have been so adamant to start their own court system is because of the oppression that they have suffered for so many years. And that oppression we now feel worldwide, as it were. And so this court system has been set up to be an alternative choice for people to turn to have their matters adjudicated or reheard on appeal for proper administration of justice. We do agree that the existing court systems are very corrupt, and they are not about administering justice, but lining their own pockets and certainly to uphold the corporation mentality and their agendas, and not upholding the rights of the people. And so we want to be there for people who had their rights taken away by other court systems as an alternative choice, so that they can finally find relief somewhere and remedy. So based on that, I just want to go into a little bit of the history of the Chilcotin people. The Chilcotin people have never signed a treaty with Canada or British Columbia, and so their land has always been sovereign. It has not been treated as sovereign by Canada until just recently, last year in the Supreme Court of Canada decision, Chilcotin Nation versus British Columbia, 2014. If you Google that, you'll find the decision there, where Canada is starting to recognize that the Chilcotin people have always had their sovereignty, have never signed treaties, and in particular, the hereditary chiefs and people are the ones who own the land, who have the right to self-determination, and that not only includes what is happening with their land, but also the people on the land. So the Chilcotin Nation, through their court system, the Universal Supreme Court, has started to abrogate provincial laws here in British Columbia and replacing them with their own Chilcotin laws.
We're going into a break, a commercial break at the bottom of the hour, and we'll be back in just a few short minutes. Fascinating discussion. We have with us the Chief Justice of the Universal Supreme Court and Mike Parsons. Mike Parsons is on the road, and we're going to continue this for the next half hour.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
We've had an amazing year here at Supernatural Silver. We've truly enjoyed the fantastic response from thousands of people as they've tried our extraordinary product, and we're thrilled at the life-changing results people have. Our company email is continually full of happy, satisfied customers who thank us for the help they've received from Supernatural Silver. This holiday season, as you think of gifts to give your loved ones, consider giving Supernatural Silver, a gift that can help provide good health and wellness, a gift that can change lives and make a real difference. In a world where we are constantly exposed to dangerous health threats, give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Give Supernatural Silver. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HOLIDAY2015 for 20% off. And this holiday season, we wish you and yours the blessings of peace and good health from all of us here at supernaturalsilver.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Class special broadcast. Mike Parsons is with us, and we're talking about the Universal Supreme Court, and Chief Justice Susanna Hedgettis Holland is with us, and she's sharing with us how this court works, what this court does. So, Susanna, who can bring cases to this court?
Anybody could torn to our jurisdiction, and certainly there's a form online to fill out and then send to the appropriate address online, and that way we will communicate, correspond with the person who has torn their jurisdiction to our matter. Basically, one or both parties in a matter can attorn under our laws, so therefore consent does not have to be provided by both parties for attornment. And we can go into, for example, another nation and take a look at the laws that applied, like Mike had said, in that case, and the common laws and so on that are pertinent to that case, and then apply those laws that we see fit. We can even, under our laws, go in and take a look at laws that maybe need to be altered and remedy the laws that need fixing in a certain area. And although we're just in the very infancy of this court system, it's an entire system, because we will adjudicate, from Supreme Court level all the way to international courts. We do. I'm sorry, I'm tired because I've been up all night traveling as well. But we do have the ability, once we will be recognized and our authority will be adhered to. We do have the ability then to take a look at all kinds of cases, from civil matters to criminal, and adjudicate those in like without any statute of limitations and in finality. So if you are wanting a court that rules in finality without appeal beyond us, then we are the choice court for you. If you want to try, the existing systems first, and then, if not satisfied, attorn your matter to us later, then that is also available to any individual. We are an Aboriginal Indigenous court primarily, but we believe that we can benefit all of society and all the nations where Aboriginal people dwell. We have jurisdiction. Once a matter is attorned to us, we will take jurisdiction based on the fact that Aboriginal people live there. That includes, all of North America, South America, Australia, Africa, and beyond, possibly, where Aboriginal people live. So if there is, oppression, or if there are rights being denied, we certainly are happy to take a look at cases where rights have been denied and humanitarian issues are at stake.
Susanna Hedges Holland, I have a question. There are about 200 of us here at USA Prepares this broadcast, and we are scattered all over the United States, North America, or even in Central America and Europe. But one of our instructors had been arrested when he was a teenager, and he was arrested and convicted of rape and murder, which he didn't do. His name is Jeffrey Deskovic. It's a pretty famous case, and it was in New York State. And he was forced into into pleading guilty. He didn't do it. He was a teenager, and after all of this 15 years of maximum security imprisonment, it was found out that he was right, and that the charges were fabricated against him. The evidence was manufactured, and he was coerced, and he spent 15 years in prison, maximum security. DNA evidence after 15 years proved that he did not do it, and he was released, and he won a $46 million award for wrongful conviction. Now, the question I have for you is, let's say he had not yet been released, and let's say he was in maximum security prison. Would you be able to hear this case, hear the evidence, and if you believe that he was wrongfully convicted, overturn that conviction and then force his release?
Absolutely. This is exactly why this court has been set up, because we have many Chilcotin young people today currently sitting in penitentiaries who have been wrongfully convicted as well. So this is a very pervasive a problem, even for Chilcotin young youth. And so this zeroes in on what it is exactly that we want to do, and we want to be able to help people like Jeffrey to be able to seek relief somewhere. We also have a huge problem, and it is the young people that had motivated the inception of the Universal Supreme Court, primarily because we still have 300 youth and children in what I call custody of the Ministry of Children and Family Development here in British Columbia, who have illegally apprehended Chilcotin youth and children from their homes for no cause whatsoever. they are still in the custody of the provincial ministry, who has not released these children, and they abuse these children. They have had children being drugged and caged, raped, and even murdered. And yet they still will not send our Chilcotin children home. And so this is our main goal, is to have those children released and sent home under the auspice of the Ministry of Youth and Children that has been currently established to take care of children and to replace the current provincial ministry for the protection of children. So this is how I got involved with the Chilcotin people. Is I was initially a large daycare provider. I had a multiple facilities when I discovered that one Chilcotin child, she was 12 years old at the time, had divulged to me the abuses that she was suffering in her non-Aboriginal foster home. And when I decided to speak on her behalf and to advocate for her is when all hell broke loose. And so the government did not take kindly to my advocating for her and to alert the existing authorities of these abuses. And they tried to then take control of the child who has been abused by drugging and caging her to the point where when she cried out for help to me, she called me, continually come and rescue her. Then she told me that she was having difficulty breathing from the drugs that they were giving her. She was hallucinating. And I knew this child from prior caregiving that she was a normal 12-year-old, very bright, getting A's and B's in school, and yet they were drugging her, and they had her deemed in the provincial court as of a mental capacity of a 5-year-old. Therefore, they could take away all her rights to a lawyer, to due process, and so on and so forth. And so you could see under the recent decisions online how I corrected the provincial court's ruling on that, and so on and so forth. But these kind of abuses were the motivation for this court originally. It was the young people who have had to experience all these horrific things, where the nation now has come together and is still coming together behind the Chilcotin National Congress to demand that their children be released immediately from the government. And we need what we do need, because the government has done everything that they could to cripple the Chilcotin National Congress and to put money forward into the Chilcotin National Government, which they, tried to control that way. They had done everything they could to extort the funds that should be going to the Chilcotin National Congress and siphoning it, elsewhere into the ministry, which is totally illegal and extortion. But anyway, those are the kind of issues that we are dealing with. We are hoping to be able to speak with Prime Minister Trudeau in the very near future. I have emailed him on several occasions on the crisis that was happening with their Chilcotin.
Okay, well, hold that thought. And when we come back, Susanna Hedges, Holland, and Mike Parsons, I'd love to hear how we bring these cases to you. How do we contact you? What are the costs involved? And what's the first step that we take? And I'll post that information, that link on the website during this broadcast.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems.
Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hello?
We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit
Hey, this is Vincent. We're off the air right now.
That's USAPREPARES.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else. Except
hey, Vincent, it's Neil Vanderstelt. I'm calling to talk to Mark, Mike Parsons. I was going to ask him
are struggling against
what he thinks about nationalization of resources and how we get the globalist hands out of the nation's resources
in ways you never
and about the private
where we
system.
shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves, but this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all.
Should I call, how long should I wait to call to talk to Mike?
Downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions,
I'll call back in
but first
20
you
minutes.
need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
3115.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Go to GCNteam.com or call 855-GCN-MALL. That's 855-426-6255. GCNteam.com or 855-426-6255. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
911, what is your emergency? There's somebody in my house. Hurry, please.
A home break-in happens every 22 seconds. Homes without a security system are up to 3 times more vulnerable to a burglary. That's why there's Simply Safe. In an emergency, our advanced wireless technology alerts police up to 10 times faster, and your connection to emergency services can't be cut because Simply Safe doesn't rely on landlines. Simply Safe costs less than half what traditional companies charge, just $14.99 a month, and there's no commitment to an annual contract. Protect your family with the highest caliber security. Go now to simplysafedefense.com and get 10% off with free shipping and a 3-year warranty. Hurry, and you'll also receive a keychain remote worth $25. Try Simply Safe for a full 60 days. You'll feel confident that your family is safe or your money back. Go to simplysafedefense.com right now. simplysafedefense.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to KDArmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, we've got the Supreme Court Justice of the Universal Supreme Court with us, Susanna Hedges Holland, and Mike Parsons. And the question that I have for you, Susanna, is how do we get in touch with you? How do we bring a case to your attention?
The quickest and easiest way is just to email me. My email is on our website, the universalsupremecourt.org website. So that's the quickest way to, and I do try and answer my own emails as quickly as possible. I have been, like I mentioned earlier, on the run lately and have been unable to access my emails, but I am home now and I can do so. Again, if you go on the website and want to download the form there and submit that to us, then that will be an official attorney to our jurisdiction, and then we'll start processing your case. And we are still very much in battle with the government of Canada here. For example, our Chilcotin Attorney General was just released from prison yesterday. So we are happy that he has been released, but he was illegally jailed in contravention with the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. And even though that was then notified by me to Prime Minister Trudeau, he did nothing about that. And certainly when I made orders for his release, they were disregarded by the government here in British Columbia. I had spoken to someone in the correctional facility in Kamloops here, and they said that they had received instructions from the Parliament here in Victoria, British Columbia, to disregard my orders. So we are still very much in battle for establishing the authority of this court with respect to this sovereign nation, even though the Chilcotin Nation is a sovereign nation and always has been. And many prior decisions, even in British Columbia, have recognized that, and certainly has been recognized by the Royal Proclamation of 1763 and so on and so forth. It has been established that we are a sovereign nation, a sovereign territory, but yet at the same time, Canada wants that to remain hidden. So far, we've been the world's best kept secret, and certainly, the battle is on to keep this as the world's best kept secret. But we are fighting not only for our rights here in the Chilcotin, we're fighting for everybody's rights beyond, because we feel we can benefit all people, all races, Aboriginals first, and then all people who seek true justice and seek relief from oppression. So based on that, our needs are great. Like I was mentioning earlier, we have no funding from anywhere. I have been working for this last year without any pay. I am happy to do so because I believe in this cause. And certainly I've been persecuted from Canada as well. And for helping this Chilcotin child, who I mentioned earlier, I have been criminally charged, and my business had been shut down by British Columbia, even though I was operating and for over 20 years. They had shut me down for rescuing this child. So our needs are great with respect to funding and investment in our territory.
Susanna, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you back again and again, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the faculty of USA Prepares. And I have a link on page 1 of the website, usaprepares.com. Our class knows all about it. There's a link to you, which links to your email and contact information. So we can talk again and have you back again, and maybe we can get you some help. Thank you for being...
Yes, I appreciate being on your show, and I thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Mike Parsons. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked, hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I'm delighted to introduce to you your newest instructor. His name is Craig Cervantes, and he is a U.S. Air Force veteran. He has a background in aviation and firearms. He loves to shoot, and he has experience in engineering on aircraft and machining parts and tools. And as a result of that experience, he formed a company that has a unique invention and a process to change the primer system on steel and other Berdan primed cartridges into being able to accept the standard conventional available here in the States, the boxer primers. Welcome, Craig Cervantes.
Glad to be on your show.
Do we have Craig? Yeah, hey, Craig, it's great to hear your voice. And yes, I can, and we can. Craig, I called you. I placed the call to you to discuss reloading and to ask you if you would be interested in joining our faculty to teach our broadcast classroom at USA Prepares about reloading, and you graciously accepted that position, and I'm glad to have you here. And by the way, class, no one gets paid here. Nobody. Craig doesn't. I don't. We are all volunteers bringing information that we think is important. And I think with what's happening and what those people at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and their associates are doing, and they're trying to limit our ability to defend ourselves, this is one more area that I think we need to talk about and we need to learn about, we need to pursue, and we need to get the equipment in order to do this. So we're going to talk about how to reload our own ammunition today in this broadcast classroom. And this is classroom number, class 101. There'll be 102, 103, and so forth. So this is the beginning. And so, Craig, let's talk about something that's kind of important. We'll start out with cartridges. Now, cartridges have several components. There's the case. We might identify that as the brass case. And then there's a primer that's inserted at the base of the case. Then there's a powder that explodes, and then or burns, and then there's the bullet or the projectile that goes flying out. Now, some people call cartridges bullets. They're not. Bullet is the part that goes flying out the barrel. Okay. And so the complete assembly would be called a cartridge. Craig, can you tell us the different kinds of cases? Let's start with what are the different types and what are the materials they're made of, so we can have a mental picture before we get into how to actually reload.
Well, you have a few different basic shapes. You have what you would consider like a straight wall, which many of the pistol cartridges have. There's no taper to it. It's straight down. You see it everything from the old Western cartridges, from the old 45s to 45-70s, and you still see it carried over to nowadays, 357s, 44 Magnums, 38s. So that is a very basic cartridge. And then you go into a little bit more complex, which cartridges have a bottleneck. And the reason for the bottleneck is that they're actually able to pack a lot more powder behind the bullet and use a relatively smaller bullet, which gives you the bottleneck effect. And that actually gives you a higher velocity coming out of the barrel without having to throw such a huge amount of lead out that would normally match the cartridge, such as older cartridge, 45, 70s, 45 long Colts, and things along those lines. So those are the basic shapes. They also come in a variety of different materials that they've made, the cartridges. The very first ones, of course, were made from brass. And the reason they make it brass is very malleable in its raw state. Things can be formed fairly easily with them. And that's been pretty much the traditional. Later on, as cartridges evolved, especially when it comes to like battlefield cartridges, where it's basically almost a disposable in the battlefield. Nobody's picking up cartridges. You have a lot of the ex-Soviet bloc states and many other countries started just making the cartridges out of steel, which is a phenomenal material to make it out of if you want durability out of your cartridges. But the problem with those cartridges is most of them were made in a Berdan configuration, which I'll go into those primer types here. The other type is materials is you see some made out of aluminum, and those are basically a disposable cartridge. And you're even seeing some new modern ones that people are trying to actually make new cartridges out of a polymer with basically a brass base, which they've had mixed success with those, but it's never been as good as the traditional cartridges.
Okay, so when we look at the cases, I happen to I've read that the steel cases are a little rougher on some of the chambers than the brass, and some rifles are perfectly acceptable or can perfectly and easily handle the steel cases. Can you talk about that for just a minute?
Yes, I can definitely elaborate upon that. There's been a lot of people that have been concerned about steel cases damaging their rifles and so on and so forth, which is shown to be absolutely debunked. The cartridge itself is not going to damage the chamber of a rifle, for the simple fact that the steel cases are made from a softer steel. It hasn't been heat treated such as the barrel. The barrel is going to be a much stiffer and much harder of a steel. And the example I can give you that is you can take a hardened steel drill bit and you can drill it into a very soft steel very easily, and one gives way to the other very easily. So that's one of the main differences. That you see a lot of studies that are people have gone out and done a shooting experiment where they've shot steel cartridges, and the view that people get is, oh, the steel cartridges could ruin a barrel. Well, it's not the cartridge per se. What they've shown is that it's actually the projectile from a lot of the surplus ammo and a lot of some of the ammo that's made overseas, which is a good majority of it, have inside of a steel core, there is a small bit of lead that is on the outside of that to give it a little bit more weight. And then there's another small layer of a soft steel. And that is made basically for penetration into a target, goes through sandbags a little bit easier. It's not what you would call by any means a true armor-piercing round, but it does have what they would call a penetrator core. Those are what they have shown is that actual bullet, not the cartridge, has, if you're shooting 20,000 rounds through a barrel, it begins to wear out the barrel itself. And a lot of that is also taken into how fast it's being shot. Has the barrel had a chance to cool off? In many cases like that is what the problem has been. So it's not been through the actual casing itself that's caused any of those problems with it, but it's actually the bullet. And when you're reloading, I have never seen, other than bullets have been pulled apart, to actually find any kind of bullet that's going to have any kind of a small steel casing around it. So it's kind of a moot point unless you're shooting bulk ammo, such as Wolf and some of these other ones that are come from the European countries. Those ones will usually have that same type of bullet.
Now, when you talked about the barrel getting hot, back in World War I, there were machine guns that were manufactured that had water-cooled barrels. Literally, there was a water chamber around the barrel to keep the barrel cool. And then at other times, barrels had to be changed on machine guns, every few minutes because they got so hot. Isn't that right? Oh, yes. You see a lot of the Germans, the German guns, the MG-34, which was their heavy barrel, which was their medium machine gun. You'll see a lot of it being used in all the different war movies, but you also, which is kind of ironic with Star Wars that comes out, if you ever look at the old stormtroopers and you look at the big long gun that they have, it's actually an MG-34 that they have that they're carrying around, or an MG-42, which is basically almost the same design. But that machine gun actually had a spare barrel, and the gunner could actually take very quickly with a lever, pop that barrel off and put a new barrel on, and therefore the old barrel could cool off and they could continue to fire without wearing out their barrels. But like you were saying, some of the American guns that were fielded basically at the end of World War I, all the way up into World War II, had a jacket, and you usually found that on the 30 caliber machine guns, and it looks like that big old honking thing, and then next to it looks like an old gas can that would sit down next to it. But that actually kept the barrels from wearing out for the most part, but it was very bulky to carry. Now, in our case, when we're going to be reloading, do we have to worry in most cases about overheating our barrels? Is that something that we're just not going to experience? No, you're not going to encounter that unless you have a full auto, which most people don't have and never even have access to it. Most people that do have that aren't reloading their ammunition because they're going through it so fast. They're not going to be reloading. Reloading comes more for the people such as yourself, myself, and all the others that really want to either save money, or they're loading for other reasons. They're loading for accuracy, or they're loading because they cannot find the ammunition that they're looking for in an appropriate power charge or an appropriate projectiles they're looking for. So it really kind of depends on what you're loading for as to what you're going to be doing with it. Mm-hmm. Well, Craig, as we continue this broadcast, I can tell you one of the best things about reloading your own ammunition. Once you go through this process and you actually make your own reloads, you are going to be very, very careful about how you squeeze that trigger. You're going to make sure every shot counts because you're going to remember how long it took to put together 50 or 100 rounds. And that's really important to make sure that you're careful with your ammunition. And going forward, you're absolutely right. I am concerned about the ongoing availability of ammunition. I really am looking toward the future. I don't think we're going to have the availability. That's just my opinion that we've enjoyed in the 1950s and 1960s. So when we come back, let's talk about the types of bullets, from casting lead bullets, how to do it, and jacketed bullets, and the actual projectiles, and then we'll talk about the powders, and we'll talk about the primers and how to inspect the cases, and resizing and those kinds of things, and what we need to do to actually, and the equipment that we ought to consider for reloading. Craig Cervantes is with us, Russian Reloads. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
You're fired. According to the Small Business Administration, 75% of small businesses plan to eliminate jobs or reduce workers' hours to part-time. You're fired. According to Gallup, the unemployment rate recently jumped to nearly 9%, and the underemployment rate hit a staggering 17.9%. You're fired. 1 out of 3 young adults and 1 out of 2 recent college graduates are underemployed. Hello, I'm Keith Abel, a pharmacist and a home business entrepreneur. In 2011, I became one of those statistics myself. Instead of looking for another job in corporate America, I joined Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. We're creating steady incomes for ourselves and would like to show you how to do the same. If you want to supplement your current income, replace your income so you don't have to become one of the statistics, then give me a call toll-free at 866-257-3105, 866-257-3105. You're fired. Don't wait till you hear those words. Start creating an extra income today. 866-257-3105.
A revolution in body protection has arrived only at FortressSurvivalLLC.com. Introducing the revolutionary patented Level 3 Bulletproof Vest. 100% Kevlar, 100% American-made. Concealable, fully adjustable, and the lowest price on the market. Adult size normally $289.99, now just $250. Kid size normally $239.99, now just $200. Get affordable protection with a Level 3A Bulletproof Vest from FortressSurvivalLLC.com. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3.
Class, Craig Cervantes is with us, and he's with RussianReloads.com, RussianReloads.com. Link on the website, USAPrepares.com, under Instructors, on the Instructors tab. Craig, so we've talked about the cases, and they're steel, brass, nickel, aluminum, and some polymer with brass bases. If we want to reload, where can we get cases?
Well, there's a few places you can get them. You can shoot whatever you're shooting, pick up your cases, and reload those. And now you can actually, like I said, reload the Berdan primers, where most of the Berdan primed. Actually, I should just kind of describe what the actual primer is, difference, because that's actually a very important part when it comes to reloading. There's actually two different types of primers. Most people, visually from the outside, you can't tell necessarily by looking at it if it's going to be a Berdan, if it's going to be a standard primer. But after the casing is fired, if you look down the neck of the cartridge, you're going to see one of two things. If it's a steel cartridge or an old military cartridge, there's probably a good chance that you're going to look down inside of it, and you're going to see what looks like a small little lump that's backwards, and you're going to see two little small holes right next to that. That is a Berdan primer. Now, the Berdan primers are primarily made in Europe, which would have been any of the former Soviet bloc weapons, AK-47s, AK-74s, Mosin Nagants, as well as there's a lot of 8 millimeters and a lot of just about any of the military cartridges that were made in bulk for military systems, including old lever rifles, as all the way up to modern rifles. Now, those cartridges are not traditionally reloaded because of the fact that the reloading systems rely on an ability to take out the old primer, which most loading systems have a very small pin that goes down to the very center of the cartridge and pushes the old primer out. Well, with the Berdan primer, because it has two flash holes instead of the one centered one, if you try to run the same die down there, that pin that would normally push out that primer will bust, and you're not being able to get out that primer. So to actually reload a Berdan primer, traditionally, you actually have to gouge out the old primer from the outside, which is a very time-consuming method, and lots of times you end up damaging the cartridge where you can't even reload it. At that point, it would be like a standard. You put the new primer, if you could find one, which they are virtually impossible to find in the United States. And I have some people say, well, I got 1,000 of them. And I tell them, good luck. Put them away because you're probably never going to get any more again. Because traditionally, they don't make them for reloading the Berdan cartridges. Now, the other type is the boxer primer, which is traditionally used in most of the Western gun manufacturers, and as well as many of them in European now. And the difference between those and the other primers is that these ones are able to be removed really rapidly through a standard reloading system. It goes straight through the center flash hole and pushes out the little inner part. And if any of you want to get a better visualization of what it actually looks like up close, on my website, www.russianreloads.com, if you go to the website and you look at the very top, and you actually see it as a tutorial, it says up on top, tutorials. If you click on that, the next step, the next block down it says download the instructions. On there, you'll be able to see a better visualization. It's a PDF file, a better visualization of what the inside of those cartridges look like, so you'll be able to familiarize yourself with what the different types of primers are. Now, traditionally, those cartridges were thrown away. Now, through the system I made, they're reloadable. It's a simple system. But that's the main difference between what they were traditionally saying, non-reloadable and reloadable. And there were certain cartridges that were never made in any kind of a reloadable fashion. And one of them that comes to mind, not only 22s, but those are pretty much throwaway anyway. But the other one was for the Soviets came out with the AK-74 in 1974, basically is when it was released. And that actually uses comparable bullet casing to the American .223 or the 5.56 by 4.5. And that cartridge was only made in steel. And that cartridge for the 5.45 by 3.9 was never made in any kind of brass or any kind of reloadable. So even though that it had a primer system, was not a rimfire, it still could not be reloaded until now, which has been a boon for many loaders that wanted to reload that rifle that could not reload it before because of the types of the primer systems. So those are the two main things that you want to look for in your cartridges. the brass cartridges, just because it's brass also.
Craig, hold that thought. We're going into a break, and we'll talk about the brass cartridges when we come back, and we'll talk about the tools that we need to make this happen.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the US or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help, so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
911, what is your emergency? There's somebody in my house. Hurry, please.
A home break-in happens every 22 seconds. Homes without a security system are up to 3 times more vulnerable to a burglary. That's why there's Simply Safe. In an emergency, our advanced wireless technology alerts police up to 10 times faster, and your connection to emergency services can't be cut because Simply Safe doesn't rely on landlines. Simply Safe costs less than half what traditional companies charge, just $14.99 a month, and there's no commitment to an annual contract. Protect your family with the highest caliber security. Go now to simplysafedefense.com and get 10% off with free shipping and a 3-year warranty. Hurry, and you'll also receive a keychain remote worth $25. Try Simply Safe for a full 60 days. You'll feel confident that your family is safe or your money back. Go to simplysafedefense.com right now. simplysafedefense.com.
Class, Craig Cervantes is with us, and he's with RussianReloads.com. Link on the website, USA Prepares, on the Instructors tab. Craig, we're talking about reloading. Now, the problem is that some of these great cartridges have never been designed to be reloaded. They're just military cartridges, shoot them and just keep on shooting and keep on going. And but the rest of us want to pick up the cartridges, pick up the cases, the spent cases, and reload some of them, like for the AK-47, the AK-74, and so forth. So, what can we get into the kinds of? Well, let's talk about the bullets, and then let's talk about the powders, and then let's talk about the equipment.
Okay. Well, bullets are basically, there's a few different types. Traditionally, old-style bullets were made out of cast lead, which the old ball and powders, it was all lead bullet. And the reason for the lead actually is not only that it's a heavy metal that has some weight to it, but it also will conform to the barrel, to the rifling in the barrel, to give it a much more of a bite to get the bullet spinning for its stability factor. Traditionally, lead was shot out of a rifle or a gun that did not reach really high velocities. In other words, usually be under 1,500 feet per second. Anything above that starts to basically cause a melting of the lead as it's running out of the barrel, which is basically through friction. And that over time can eventually start what they call leading your barrel, which can cause accuracy problems and things along those lines. Traditionally, those have been kept more in handguns and, some lever action rifles, 30-30s, and down below of those types. The next type is what you would call a jacketed bullet. Now, the jacketed bullets came into play basically at the turn of the century, before the turn of the century, with a lot of the military rifles who were looking for higher velocities to reach out farther. Rifles come into mind are the 30-40 Krag, the Mosin Nagant, the Mausers. Many of those wanted a higher velocity bullet, and the only way they could achieve those is by taking the same lead core and putting a fine coating, or not even a coating, but an actual swaged-on piece of brass over it, copper over it, which allows the rifling of the barrel to still grab into the copper, because copper is relatively soft, but it also does not burn up and melt in the barrel like lead does. And you can also get a much higher velocity, and that bullet can actually spin at a higher RPM as it's leaving the barrel without it falling apart. So those are the main reason. And then, of course, between there, a lot of people use it for hunting. When you have everything what they call the full metal jacket, which is basically the jacket that encompasses the entire lead bullet. And then you have hollow points, which are basically made for hunting and hitting targets where you need a rapid expansion and not having a bullet fly all the way through the target. So those are your basic ones that you have there.
All right. And so, and one other thing is, if you really try to have a lot of pressure coming out of that cartridge and you use just lead, the lead can actually come apart. So that's another reason why some projectiles or bullets are jacketed. So it holds the lead together to its final destination. So let's talk about the kind of powders then. Can you just buy one kind of powder? Will gunpowder work, or are there different powders for pistols and large pistols and small pistols and large rifles and small rifles?
Oh, there's so many.
Or is there just one powder?
Well, traditionally, starting out back when gunpowder, which is basically a combination of sulfur, saltpeter, and charcoal, that was a traditional gunpowder, and that was basically controlled by the size of the grain as to how fast the powder would burn. Now, that powder is actually considered, quote unquote, an explosive because it doesn't burn, it rapidly ignites with more of an explosive effect than a pushing effect. So those types of powders are also very dirty on a barrel. You'll find a lot of old barrels that were never cleaned properly that end up with a lot of pitting and corrosion in the barrels. And that's from when that's fired, the saltpeter or potassium nitrate leaves a salt residue behind. Now, it also made a big flash of smoke as well, too, which for military applications they did not like because it shows exactly where everybody is. And if you ever see old pictures of reenactors, and you see after they shot a couple of rounds, you see the whole battlefield is clouded with smoke. Well, the modern powders use more of a nitroglycerin base or a nitro base, which is actually burns much cleaner, but it also does not necessarily explode, but it burns. Now, there's different types of powders, from fast powders to slow powders, depending on what you're shooting. Traditionally, small pistols or pistol cartridges are using a faster powder. And the reason for it is you don't have a 6-inch barrel for the powder to burn. All that powder has to be burnt up before it's actually in 3 to 4 to 6 inches. So it almost has to be almost an explosive popping effect to get the bullet up to a high velocity very fast. Now, rifles, because you have the longer barrel, acts more like, I guess you could say the example would be if you have a spitball, let's just say a spitball, and you take a straw that's 4 inches long, and you're trying to shoot that spitball across the room, you have to blow very fast and very abruptly to get that out of that small little tube. Now, if you take the same tube that's a 2-foot long tube, same diameter, and you shoot the same spitball, you'll notice you with one good long push, you'll get it to a much higher velocity and it'll fly farther across the room. And that's an easy way to explain what the fast powders and the slow powders do. Slow powders are traditionally used for rifles, and the slower the powder is traditionally the larger the cartridge. You use a large powder. It gives you much more powder to burn up in the same velocity down the barrel as compared to a short barrel that you have to get that up to speed very, very fast. So those are the basic differences between the powders.
So, Craig, I've been to many gun shows, and I've talked to guys that sell reloading powders, and they have like 50 different types of powder. So, in order to find the right powder, there are charts for this: the type of projectile they're going to use, the weight of the projectile, and of course the caliber. You need to look at these charts to find out exactly which is the right powder for you, and we don't recommend using the wrong powder, right?
Correct. There's always new powders that are coming out, and I'll use the Mosin Nagant. That's one of my favorite cartridges. I'll use that for an example. There's new powders that come out that there may not be any loading data on it, but usually there's charts that come out from the companies that will tell you the approximate, and you can find them online, of the very fast powders to the very slowest powders. You can generally take, and if it's a powder that falls within a range of 2 or 3 of the other powders, it's usually going to be basically the speed of the powder. Is it a fast burning or slower burning powder? From there, you can kind of make adjustments once you're familiar with reloading, and I do not suggest this at all for a beginner. Stick to your manuals, stick to your books. But there are cases, like there's a new Enduron powder that I absolutely love that I use for it. There was no reloading data for the Mosin Nagant. But based upon experience, you find out that it was an equivalent almost to another powder that was out there that was traditionally being used. And it was almost identical in the burning characteristics of that powder. So you basically could start with a load that's a diminished load. In other words, it's not fully loaded with as much powder as you're supposed to put in there, but you start off with a little bit less of a powder as a small end of that scale. From there, you can kind of what they call building your load up. You take the round out, you fire it, you see what your accuracy is, what you're getting out of it. From there, you can, based upon your notes, you can figure out if it needs a couple more grains of powder or less grains of powder. And that's another subject we'll go into a little bit more as far as stability of the bullets and barrels and things like that. We'll go into a little bit later on. But that's kind of what you're looking for as far as powders. You're looking for a burn range for a specific cartridge, as well as, like you were saying, the weight of the bullet is actually going to be a factor as far as if you want a faster burning or slower burning. A lighter bullet is going to use a slightly faster burning powder, and a heavier bullet is going to use a slightly slower powder. And there's all the variables you need to get. So I do recommend get several loading manuals. Don't just get one. Get them from several different manufacturers if you can. And if you can't, the internet is full of all these manufacturers that have it on their websites that you can find out what powders you can use of theirs for specific calibers and what you're loading for. Again, those are starting points. You're going to want to start out at the lowest level of powder that it says to use and take it out to the range, check it out, fire it, see what your velocities are going to be, and make your changes from there.
And Craig, let me caution our class today. I experimented, and I wanted to have a really pleasant load for a .357 revolver, and so I was using 38 cartridges. 38 special cartridges in a .357, which is perfectly acceptable. They work just fine. And I wanted to just lighten the load a little bit, make a little bit less noise, and wake up the neighbors maybe a little slower on a Sunday morning. So I wanted less report, if you will, from the muzzle. Well, I lightened the load a little bit too much. And what happened was the projectile, the bullet, got lodged in the barrel. Now, had I squeezed off the next round, it would have been a disaster because I would have had a bullet lodged in the barrel of this .357, and the next bullet would try to push that one out, and the gun could have exploded in my hand. So what I'm saying is I have proven to myself that going way below the minimum recommendation for powder is not a good thing.
No, it's not. So that's stovepiping, and that could be very dangerous, especially if you have a semi-auto and you have one that goes aside there and you shoot the next one off, that could very easily blow up in your face.
Okay, so that's the warning, class, and it can happen, and you can hear it. You can hear the stovepipe. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like a normal cartridge going off. All right, let's talk about what equipment we need to begin this adventure into reloading. What do we need? What kind of gear?
Well, you could start from the very, very basics. Depending on what you're going to be reloading, there are loaders that are literally hand loaders that you can literally take every little aspect, weigh the powder out one by one, put it inside the cartridge, assemble your cartridge, and a small little hand lever can print it down. I don't recommend those unless you're out in the field. And you're doing something.
Hold that thought. We're going into a break. Let's talk about that, and then let's talk about the equipment that you manufacture. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Concerned about harmful contaminants in your water? Look to ProPure, the most trusted name in gravity water filtration systems. ProPure, with the silver-infused Pro 1G 2.0 filter, removes over 200 contaminants, including VOCs, heavy metals, chloramines, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, fluorides, and radiologicals. We don't just say it, we back it up. The Pro 1G 2.0 filter is NSF 42 certified and independently tested to meet NSF 53 and P231 standards. Pro Pure Water, the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. Purchase with confidence in quality, performance, and customer service. Take advantage of our biggest holiday 25% off sale going on now. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com. Or call 800-544-3533. 800-544-3533.
Still wondering what to get that special someone that has everything? At ID Stronghold, we still find that a huge percentage of people do not yet have an RFID blocking wallet or purse to protect them from the new and growing threat of electronic pickpocketing. That's right, even though 40% of all new chipped payment cards shipped in 2014 contain a wireless interface called RFID that allows the account information to be skimmed by a thief passing near your cards, most people are still unprotected. The good news is that ID Stronghold makes luxurious leather wallets and other products that prevent this. ID Stronghold founded the entire RFID protection industry and has been protecting the RFID chips in government and military ID cards for over a decade. So go to idstronghold.com and get that loved one a stylish leather RFID blocking wallet or clutch. That's idstronghold.com. After all, wallets and purses have always been a great gift. Now they are an even better gift. Visit idstronghold.com today.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Hi, I'm Rick Ossick with Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we support the March of Dimes in the fight against premature birth. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment programs, and outreach to help moms have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Learn how you can help save babies' lives at marchofdimes.org.
Class, quick update. Captain John Regan and I will be hosting Truth Frequency Radio Network from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 today. That's 2 to 4 Central Time. On truthfrequencyradio.com, we'll be dissecting the news. We'll be talking about Fukushima and the spy technology. Erin Dakins, who's normally there, is on assignment today. She's fine, no worries, but she's on assignment, and John Regan and I will be there. Truthfrequencyradio.com, 2 to 4 Central Time today. And right now we're talking with Craig Cervantes, RussianReloads.com. And let me give you his phone number, but if you could wait 5 minutes, it'd be great. 505-261-5133. 505-261-5133. Craig, what equipment do we need, the basics, and what, in the last few minutes we have, and what do you sell that will help us with the Russian-type ammunition, European-type ammunition?
Well, basically you're going to need a basic loader system, which comprises of pretty much a lever, has your dies, which are important. You have to have dies for your specific cartridge, and the dies usually consist of a bullet seeder and a case reformer. You got to reform your cases every time you shoot them, and basically another to actually insert the primer into it. From there, you're going to need a way to measure your powder, which is by weight. So those are the very basics you need. You can go everything from a simple one-lever system, but you're going to have to change out your chucks depending on which position you're in as far as loading goes. And then they also have a little bit more expensive systems that basically every time you're pulling the lever, one's reloading. I suggest if you're starting out, You start out with a very basic system so you can learn it step by step on a very basic system instead of trying to run and get a progressive loader where you're able to crank out many at a time. Start with one, learn to walk before you're going to run on that one. Now, as far as what we offer a system that is, it's a patent pending system that allows you to basically convert your Berdan cartridges to be able to load it with a boxer primer, which means that you're able to reload those cartridges very fast, like as if they were made of brass. Now, one of the things I want to kind of touch on, and if you go on my website, you'll also see in that same tutorial section about the materials. A lot of people think that because the steel is going to damage their dies if they try to reload a steel cartridge, which isn't true. You just basically have to use a little bit more lubricant on the cartridge itself as you do in the resizing of it. But basically, with the system, there's also a tutorial video on there that shows you how the process is done, as well as feel free to download the instruction manual, and it kind of gives you an outline on how to do it. Very cost-effective. We can end up doing it with just about any of the Berdan cartridges that are out there now, and it's everything from the 223s all the way up to one of the larger ones we do is the 7.5 by 55 Swiss cartridge, which has the largest case diameter out of all those. But any of those in between there, we're able to convert over both steel and brass Berdan cartridges. So now you don't have to throw those away. And there's also many cartridges you can't readily get. 7.7 Japanese comes to mind, a lot of 8 millimeters, and there's not readily available for brass itself. And one of the things that I always have been trying to harp on people on is John Kerry signed this UN Small Arms Treaty. Of course, it's not a legally signed document, but with this administration, they really don't care about legalities. If anything happens, the next logical step on the gun grabbers are going to go after, and they realize they can't necessarily get our guns. But what they're going to go after is ammo. They're going to go after ammo that's being imported, which is a huge majority of any of the ammo for AK-47s or any of the Soviet-based designs, as well as many other cartridges, all coming in from outside the country. And if they enact this ban, the Small Arms Treaty ban, not only will it stop ammo coming in, but of course the other firearms. And that's the thing, is if you're caught without any ammo, you basically have a club. And there's not a lot of readily available cartridges for the 7.62 by 39 or 5.4 or the 5.45 by 39. So basically they would be taking out a huge majority of the so-called assault rifles in the United States by banning that ammunition. That is the next step. So
we're out of time. We're out of time. Craig Cervantes, RussianReloads.com, RussianReloads.com. And let me give you that number. You can start calling right now, 505-261-5133, RussianReloads.com. This was 101 in the series. Craig, thank you so much. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgy.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.